What's up all you spawntastic dudes and dudettes, ToyShiz here, and I'm back yet again to give you guys another Retroshiz look back at the past, and today we're checking out the 2006 Spawn series, Spawn Evolutions, the 29th series of figures, and this is good old THAMUZ, or as he's better otherwise known, the Master of Torture. And he's looking oh so awesome. This is one of those figures that I never saw in the store. I think along with the Man of Miracles and Zira and all these other figures in this way, there's a kind of an offset wave, I believe. I don't remember seeing a lot of these in stores back in the day, so it is nice to finally have him on my shelf. And if you want to go ahead and screen grab it, here's a little bit of a bio for this particular wave and kind of explaining that it comes from Spawn issue number 150, and you get a good look at the Disciple, Man of Miracles, Zira, Spawn, Ninja 2, all that great stuff. I really love the photo on the side of the box. That is a fantastic photo of THAMUZ. But if you're wondering, well, hey, who is this character in the realm of the Spawn mythology for the comic book? Due to Lord Mammon, another big Spawn baddie, he hired THAMUZ to go after Spawn and torture him for information, and he put Spawn through the ringer. No joke. Spawn eventually, as he does, gets away and pretty much obliterated THAMUZ. Rest assured, though, THAMUZ is immortal. He probably will make his eventual return, as they all do, so hopefully we'll see him in the comic books again. But I really just like that it's a large clamshell packaging, really big figure in there. Excited to get this guy open. So sit back, relax, grab yourself a nice hot cup of necroplasm. This is the 2006 Spawn Evolutions, the 29th series THAMUZ action figure by McFarlane Toys. Just before we get started, just want to announce that the Kickstarter has been unveiled for McFarlane Toys, launching this Wednesday, April 8th. We'll talk about it more in the video in just a second, but here's old THAMUZ out of the packaging, and he is a pretty awesome figure. Not as big a figure as I was kind of hoping. I'm going to be quite honest. I imagine THAMUZ, especially how he looks in the comics, to be a little bit taller, a little bit bigger. He is pre-posed. He's a little bit haunched in that area, but I really love the detail on this guy. He's very much he's almost got the Swamp Thing look going on, very much aquatic, a lot of barnacles and very sea life oriented, I will say. And he does come with a number of accessories and a stand weapon. He comes with two mini bone looking wings. They're very interesting, very nicely detailed. Very off-putting, I will say. Almost like they were destroyed or he was damaged, something like that. There's two holes in his back right through his armor, and they simply just pop in. Not a whole lot to them, really. They're kind of just there. They don't look amazing. They don't look terrible, but I really wish a little bit more to them. They almost look like little push brooms other than wings, if you were to tell me that they're wings. I like his base a lot. Again, keeping with that aquatic type barnacle looking element, very much a textured effect. On the bottom, you see 2006 McFarlane Toys. On the bottom of THAMUZ's foot, you will get a peg hole, and it simply just slides in there, and it looks good. It stabilizes him. He can stand on his own, but the stand really does help. And again, keeping with that almost the bottom of the ocean, very spiraled rock effects, rock landscape, and again, keeping that he's from hell itself. So you can imagine that this would be a very fitting base for someone like THAMUZ. His weapon is wild. It's very crustacean-like. It's got a lot of different design elements to it, a lot of little line intricacies, and it's painted well. It's different. It's one of the most unique-looking weapons. Can't say that it doesn't seem a little cluttered sometimes, but it's very odd, and it's odd for the right reasons. It comes apart, that way you can slip the handle easily into his pre-posed hand. It does require a little finesse, kind of wiggling it through, being that it's at a curve. Simply put the piece back on, and he's got basically I guess you would say a hellish sword? Whatever you want to go for. Very indicative, like with the armor that he's already wearing. It fits well. The gold matches with the green. He's just very earthy, very organic looking. You can see a lot of little shapes from those particular looks of the ocean or the land, and it runs current with his entire look. It's very much that they picked this type of really extensive texturing effect and it does work well for THAMUZ. And I think my favorite part about the figure is the Book of the Dead looking hand right on there. That's a great looking face, very creepy, and something that I really didn't even see much into kind of looking this figure over. The back, again, really keeping with the, like, it's almost like a moss textured effect for his cape. Again, also very much rocky landscape, underwater, things of that nature, but it works well and it's creepy. It looks good. It feels really, really interesting. It's a bit of a very lighter material for his cape, but I think that overall the figure looks great. And if you were going to add him to your collection, I don't think you'd be remiss to say, yeah, he's going to look good, but let's look at the articulation. His head will actually rotate back and forth. He does have some rotation right there, just around the bicep, kind of leading into his elbow, and his upper arm around the shoulder will kind of go just a bit, but I wouldn't say there's too much articulation there. His hand will spin, but it does look a little awkward. You know, when you kind of rotate it, it will get a little bit off kilter. He has a waist, and it's there. It's just a bare minimum movement, but it is there some way, somehow. He will rotate again at this wrist, and then if you're not careful, this will fall off. But getting the weapon in and out, it's a little tricky. You just kind of have to wiggle it just a bit. Kind of go back and forth. Doesn't seem to be any paint chippage, which is good because there is gold on the handle, but it does fit in his hand nicely. And then, of course, this rotates, and he will rotate at the bicep as well. Nothing at the shoulder on this side. He will have rotation at that leg, this leg, and nothing at the feet or anything else rotates. He really does stand well on his own, but with the stand itself, he's pretty solid. So overall, this is a fairly decent articulated old school Spawn figure. Now, if you're wondering how he matches up with the new Mortal Kombat 11 Spawn, honestly, I would say he's a little bit on the small side. I would say THAMUZ, he's not going to be a huge beast like Malbolgia or something to that degree, but I think he's just a little bit too small. If he was just not in that pose where he's just a little bit squatted down, I think the height would be a little bit better. I just imagine THAMUZ just as this bigger sized demon towering over Spawn himself. But, you know, in putting them on the shelves, I don't think that it's going to look too terrible if you really want to go height-wise. He does look good with other Spawn figures. Again, I just imagine THAMUZ being a larger type being, but when you put him up with the other figures, he does look really nice, especially with the She-Spawn, we'll just say, or the actual Monster Spawn I looked at just about a week ago. When you match him up, let's say, with the Marvel Legends Angela, the sizing tends to go a little bit better. These are smaller type characters, give or take, especially with Clown. We'll definitely say that he fits in well, but I would love to see just a bigger version of THAMUZ down the road. Just gonna say that if you have a smaller Spawn figure, let's say the Curse of the Spawn, just in that degree, he will kind of fare just a little bit better. But again, you're not gonna not want to add this guy to your shelf. He's a very interesting part of the Spawn mythos, and I dig him. But when he's gonna go up against Spawn with some angel wings, well, we all know how that's gonna end for THAMUZ. But let's go ahead and talk about the Kickstarter coming up for the new Spawn figure that's going to be remastered. Originally, it was kind of teased at this year's Toy Fair 2020, and the full announcement will come this Wednesday, April 8th, by Todd McFarlane. He'll go over all the details and how you can pledge cashola to this upcoming Kickstarter. The full details will be unveiled. A lot of info was kind of tossed around, but it's better not to speculate and just wait for the full announcement. I'm very excited for this. I think it's going to be great. Fingers crossed, you know, that as Kickstarter works, you have to get full funding to actually get the product, but I'm down for a new Spawn figure. Love what they had on display for Toy Fair. So again, I'm hoping, so stay tuned for April 8th and we'll have all the details coming up. So that's pretty much going to do it for my look at THAMUZ. I like this figure a lot. I'm not too stoked, again, on the height of the figure. And a lot of the characters, when they kind of went around these series and such, like Tremor, he was severely undersized, Vandalizer, and things in that nature. But you can't say that this isn't a super detailed, well-executed figure. Yes, he's more in that statue. This one, a little bit more statuesque than most. Minimal articulation, his arms will move. You can kind of get him in different poses and things, but he is more minimally articulated for Spawn figures back in the day, and that kind of goes with this particular 29th series wave anyways. But I'm curious to know what you guys think about this figure. Do you have him? Do you need to get him? Comment below, let me know. Let's talk everything Spawn, and let me know if you'd like me to go over any other Spawn figures, maybe your favorite or just a fan favorite, something like that. Probably can accommodate you some way, somehow. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. As always, drink some great coffee, eat some great food, but most importantly, remember when it comes to Spawn figures, yeah, sometimes the characters are there for an issue or two, sometimes 3, but you can't not say that this THAMUZ figure, he's a gnarly looking demon from hell. And when you do, let me know what you found. I'll talk to you guys soon. Adios.